Welcome to the Health Coach Nation podcast. My name is Hailey Rowe, and I'm a sales and marketing coach and LinkedIn lead generation service provider. I work with health, life, and mindset coaches and online service-based business owners to help them get more sales, shift their time to the client-generating activities instead of just the busy work, and overcome that social media overwhelm. Let's get into the show. If you feel like your marketing plan is throwing spaghetti at the wall, you're not sure what to prioritize in your business, and you find yourself going down rabbit holes and getting shiny object syndrome, I want to invite you to my free workshop on October 22nd. We're going to be covering exactly how you can plan your week and break down your marketing plan to focus on the sales driving activities instead of the busy work, and how to make sure that you're continuing to refine and improve your plan, as well as stay focused and not go down the shiny object syndrome rabbit hole roller coaster. So if you want to come live, you can even get coached and ask questions. It's going to be on October 22nd. The way that you can sign up is by going to my website at haileyrowe.com. And I will be sending out the Zoom link to my email list. So you have to get on my email list by opting in at haileyrowe.com. Basically, you're going to get a pop-up that says, do you want the free niche marketing training? That's one of my freebies. You can opt in there, or you can opt in on my homepage if you scroll down for my free niche marketing training. And if you're signed up for that, you will get the notifications about the upcoming live workshop because I'll be sending out the Zoom link to my email list. Can't wait to see you there, and I will be ready to tackle your questions. Today we're going to talk about what to do when you are fearful about being public about your business when you have a day job. Why are we talking about this? Because I have two clients who have a business on the side while working a day job, and they're worried about posting about their business on LinkedIn, posting about their business on Instagram and Facebook and social media because they have coworkers or they have, their boss, or they're worried that people at their work are going to see it and they don't want to rock the boat. They don't want to create suspicion that they're going to leave their job because they're not sure yet. They are starting their business, they are building it up, and they don't want to leave their day job while they are building their business, which I think is a smart move if you're somebody who, is really wanting security and wanting to build your business up with patience and make it sustainable and not have to rush and be freaking out about money. So one of the things that I work on with them is how do we work around that? Because there is always a way to still build your business without just going the conventional path every time of posting and posting and posting, right? So a couple of tips I'm going to give to you today are going to help you if you're afraid of being public about your business while having a day job, and some ways to work around it and still be able to get clients, be able to get opportunities, things like that. So the first thing to realize, and before we even get into the tips, I do suggest that if this is something you really want to do long term and you it's not a conflict of interest, which meaning you're not going to be taking clients from your day job, obviously, and it's something that is different than your day job, I highly recommend just telling and asking your boss, like saying, hey, I just want to let you know, like, I have a side project, I have a passion business, and I am going to be sharing about it on social media. This is not on any of my work accounts, but if you're really worried about it and it's going to cause you for years to come to be hiding and to be afraid and to be fearful, I do think it's a good idea to just be openly communicating with your boss and stressing that your work is still your priority. You're not leaving, you're not you're not getting a new job or anything like that. But it's something that fills your cup. It's something that gives you energy. And the skills you're learning in business actually can also help you in your job with your boss. So I think coming at it from that angle and just having an open communication may be something that you want to explore if it's just terrifying you and you have that kind of relationship with your boss. If you're listening to this and that's like, no, I think that's going to worry them, it's going to rile things up, whatever, then I think it's okay to have your side business, have your day job, show up to both and do a good job at both, and not need to. But for most, I do think it's good to have the open communication. And one of my clients actually is an esthetician, but she's starting her own separate business as a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner. And she wants to be helping people with skin, but holistically with a nutrition angle. And so what she's doing actually is talking to her employer to say, I am starting this business on the side. I'm still helping people with skin, but it's through nutrition changes, lifestyle changes. It's not through facials. It's not through, them coming to a spa. It's more lifestyle based. And I mentioned to her that actually that could be an add-on service at the spa she already works at, where there's existing patients and clients. So she's actually going to talk to her boss about forming a partnership at their local center to add that as a service for their people, in addition to having her own service that's just the coaching, not the esthetician services, keeping it separate from her day job. So just to kind of recap, there's two angles you can go. Either if your business is totally different than your day job, but you are worried they're going to see your posts or they're going to see you on a podcast or something like that, talk it out with them, let them know you're still dedicated to your job. If it's something where it could actually complement the current work that you do and be an add-on service, and your boss could actually make money with you together, and you wouldn't have to do the marketing, and you would be able to, add it on to whatever you guys already offer together, like the esthetician situation, maybe explore that, right? Or just simply start with, hey, I'm starting this separate business. It's a separate service. It is with the goal of skin, but I just want to let you know I will never, try to give these people facials or do any of that outside of the spa. And I'll be working with clients internationally as opposed to just local people who come to our spa. So that's the first thing to think about, is like, should I bring it up with my boss? And if you've decided no, you're going to have this on the side, you're going to be quiet about it, then here are some workarounds you could do. The first thing is you can do some local direct offer type of marketing. Meaning, if you are an online health coach, but you don't want to be online super public about it, you can still partner up in the community with chiropractors, with acupuncturists, with people who complement the service that you provide and attract people who are interested in health. And you can still lead local workshops or have a referral partnership with them behind the scenes, or you can drop off flyers there or things like that. And chances are that's not public on the internet, so your people at work are not going to see it, right? So that's one option, is to do local marketing. And if you're not sure where to start with local marketing, I do have a free pitch template. I believe it's at haileyrowe.com/pitch. If for some reason that doesn't work, you can DM me on Instagram at Hailey_Rowe, but pretty sure that's the link. But anyways, that's one option, is some local marketing. You can do that without plastering, everywhere on the internet that you're a health coach. The other option is to tap into LinkedIn lead gen and use LinkedIn for your business. Now, before you think, well, what? No, my profile says my day job and my profile is all about my day job. That's fine, but here's the cool thing about LinkedIn. You don't have to post publicly to be successful with the platform and generate leads from LinkedIn. You actually can use LinkedIn for sending private connection requests where you're in full control of who you connect with, and you can, when they accept your connection request, start a dialogue privately with people, because it's a networking platform and that's expected on this platform. And you can build relationships either with potential partners, so people where locally maybe you would collaborate with them, or online partners where maybe you would go speak for their community or speak on their podcast or things like that, where it's not highly highlighted on your platforms. Or you can connect with potential, like if you want to speak at places, you can connect with the people who are decision makers there. But the whole point is that it's all privately in DMs, private in messages, right? So again, you don't have to plaster it all over your page. You don't have to have all over your profile that I'm an entrepreneur and here's my other business that I do in addition to my day job. You can still be connecting with people, building relationships, building connections up with people who you want to be in your network, people who are potential clients or are potential partners, and be privately connecting with them. Now, the thing is with partnerships, if you're doing something where it's a swap, meaning you're promoting something to your audience and they're promoting something to their audience, then that's going to be trickier if you can't post about your business on your page, right? But if you're doing something where you're on their podcast and in exchange you're emailing your email list about this person and giving them a shout out there, well then that's totally fine, and you shouldn't have any issues. So I think that utilizing LinkedIn for the lead gen purpose, which is a service I provide, and I also teach my clients to do it. So either way, you either can do it yourself, using my trainings, using my tools, using my SOPs, meaning my step-by-step directions, or you can hire a VA, or you can hire myself and my team, and we do it for you. So if that's something you're curious about, you can reach out. But LinkedIn is a great platform for getting out there, building connections without necessarily needing to be viral on Instagram or Facebook or having all your people see everything you're doing. Now, the last option is if you want to build this business, but you don't want to be the face of the brand, you can build a business that doesn't have a face to it, meaning it's very much a brand. It's very much a logo. It's very much a mission you're leading with, and it's not a personal brand. Personally, do I think that's the best option when you're a coach, when you're doing services one-on-one with people, when you're, the person they're going to be working with? No, it's not ideal in the beginning because people do want to get to know you. They want to connect with you. People connect with humans more than they do brands. However, you can still create a brand movement and build a community without being the face of your brand. So it is possible. Is it the easier route? I don't think so, but it is an option. I've had clients who do that. I've had them still be successful and book clients. So it can be done. It's just not necessarily the preferred thing if we could pick whatever we want. So you can interact on LinkedIn, you can do local marketing, you can be a brand instead of a personal brand. And the last thing I'll say is you can probably list yourself on directories where obviously your coworkers and people like that aren't going to be searching for you. So in other words, I have a whole resource list, haileyrowe.com/resource list, where I share directories where coaches can list themselves, and people go to those directory sites to put in inquiries like, hey, I'm looking for a life coach, or I'm looking for a health coach, or I'm looking for a relationship coach, or whatever. And you would come up and they'd be able to contact you and that kind of thing. So that's another option where you're not necessarily, plastering everywhere that you're a coach, but you are, for the right people, you are being visible and you can be searched. So the other question though, just to kind of stay on this topic of what if you have a day job and you're building your business, the other big issue that I see is you feel so strapped for time. Why? Because it's hard. It's hard to start a business while you're working a day job. There's only a certain number of hours in the day. Chances are, if you're listening to this podcast, you also care about self-care and taking care of yourself and making time for not burning yourself out. And so people get in a bit of a rut because they're thinking, I don't know what to prioritize. I don't know how to plan my marketing activities into my day. It feels like there's never enough time. And so if that is you, I want to invite you to my upcoming free October 22nd workshop, where I'm going to be sharing how you can plan your week for success, plan your week of doing the sales driving activities instead of just the busy work, and be able to make progress and momentum in your business instead of staying stuck, staying unclear and in analysis paralysis, getting overwhelmed with all the noise out there about all the different things you feel like you should be doing to market yourself. So it's going to be a live workshop walking you through my exact process that I use to get a lot done, to coach a lot of clients, to have enough marketing time, and what my clients have used as well, especially when they're in a day job and they have to be strategic about their time because they don't have the luxury of overthinking and procrastinating and all the things because they have a day job and they have a business. So I personally know what that's like. I had several actually subcontractor jobs while I was growing my business. Plus I sang in a wedding band on the weekends, pretty much every weekend, especially during the summer and the spring and the fall. And so I had to become like a time management ninja at that time in my life because, first of all, when you're building a business, you have the learning curve of learning everything for the first time. So everything takes longer. And second of all, you just have a lot of activities going on. And third of all, you have jobs that you're responsible to do a good job at. So it's not easy, but it can be done. And it's something where you just have to become a really good prioritizer. You have to become somebody who doesn't waste time majoring in the minors and overthinking everything. And you have to be kind of very deliberate and intentional with how you time batch your day. So if you want to learn more about that, you can go to my website, HaileyRowe.com, sign up to my email list by either joining the free niche training or one of my freebies, and you'll be on my list that way. And you'll get the update with the Zoom link for October 22nd, 2025. All right, so thanks so much for listening. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments on this video, or if you're listening to the replay, you can always DM me on Instagram at Hailey_Rowe. And I can't wait to see you guys at the workshop. And I also would love to hear how these tips go for you. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much for listening to this podcast. And if it's really helpful for you, I'd really appreciate if you share it and or leave a written podcast review. This tells the podcast sites that our show is useful and it will be promoted to more people that way. Thanks again.